What's up, Overcome Army? It is Monday, man. It is that first day. It is that, guys, it is that day that we get to just reset. I love Mondays because it is a reset day. I don't care where you are in your life. I don't care how bad things have gone. If you get into a mindset, hey, Monday is a new week. It's a start of a new week. It's a start of a time where I can get back on track. If I didn't work out last week, then guess what? Monday is my day to start. Monday's my day to get back and attack my goals. Monday is my day to, maybe come up with a plan because last week I got hit by a life ambush. Whatever it is, man, I love Mondays for that reason. I am not that guy that's like, oh my God, it's Monday. That's a victim mindset, guys. We are victors in this Overcome Army. And overcomers and victors, man, they seize those opportunities. They put stops in place in their life that allow them to to think and evaluate and figure out, okay, I need a plan to get out of this. So that's what's up. That's why I love Mondays. So this weekend I was in an amazing event. I was invited to be a part of the American Valor Gala with the American Veterans Center. And guys, oh my God, what an amazing event! I can't wait. Watch my socials. They will air this. That we did the event live, but they recorded it. The host is, Rob Riggle, who is a retired Marine Corps Lieutenant Colonel. But so many incredible veterans, guys. So many incredible veterans. Medal of Honor recipient Ed Byers, one of my teammates. If you've never read Ed's Medal of Honor citation, what he did that night on a hostage rescue mission, incredible, man. But I was at this event and honoring so many of our incredible veterans, World War II veterans. It made me so proud to be an American. But I was on the special operations panel. And during the panel, one of the midshipmen, one of our service academy cadets, students, asked a question. And her question was about in the military, there is a current trend that, we teach soldiers how to be reactive in their thinking, meaning we teach them muscle memory and chaotic situations, and you need that. But she said there's a trend towards moving to more reflexive thinking, or I'm sorry, reflective thinking. And meaning that, if they take a life or if you're in a situation where you need to shoot, that you're more reflective of that scenario instead of just reactive. And I talked to her afterwards and I said, I think a lot of it has to do with when we're younger, or if you talk about a stressful chaotic situation, there's a need, a necessity to be reactive. We need that muscle memory because we haven't developed enough experience for our brain to move fast enough in a chaotic, stressful, overwhelming ambush, if you will, type scenario. So in that case, we need to be reactive. And as you have built yourself up. I think about this a lot in special operations training. When we were doing close quarters combat, we would do thousands and thousands of scenarios. I mean, thousands of house clearances. And because of the high level of training that we conducted, we conditioned our brain to make split-second decisions in incredibly chaotic and stressful situations. We try to do this with our fire, because I see Coach Kenny Mitchell on here with me. We try to do that with, obviously, our police, and we try and do it with our military. And I remember going through training where, we would be going through a house, clearing it, and you would come into a room and they would have a target, in a certain position in that room. And you would have seen that target, a dozen times earlier that day. But what they would do is they would change things out. So maybe when you went into that room before, it was a woman holding a purse. But when you went into that room again, it was that same woman, but now she's holding a gun. And you had to make a split-second decision. So you couldn't just be reactive and say, oh, woman, or target and shoot. You had to make a split-second decision. This is a threat. So interesting, as I was driving home yesterday thinking, or driving to Richmond yesterday thinking, I was like, man, life is so interestingly similar, but a little bit in a different way. And this idea of reactive versus reflective is such a powerful thing, especially, guys, when we start talking about as a leader, how we deal with the problems we face. And for many of us, there's a tendency, and is this a level of emotional and mental maturity that comes into being reactive when we get into different situations? Because how many of us suddenly fire off at the mouth where we react to situations where maybe we've been attacked or we've been criticized or we're in an argument with our spouse or whatever it is, and I know I'm guilty, guys. I'm guilty. I've already told everybody that my weakest area of leadership is emotional leadership. So I constantly have to watch myself and guard myself against not being reactive. Because for me, it's really easy to pull the trigger on those verbal bullets. And it's something I've really had to work on over the years. And if I'm not careful, if I'm tired or I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, I'm not watching that tea kettle get ready to boil, I will pull the trigger on a verbal bullet. And that's one of the worst things you can do as a leader, in my opinion. I think leaders need to have that mental leadership maturity. We need to have that emotional leadership maturity and not be reactive in these situations. Instead, it's critical that we are reflective. So how do you do that? Well, it takes no different than, when I talked about in the military, we need to teach guys there's a purpose to being reactive when you're young and new in the military, but with experience you get better. And I think as leaders, you're naturally reactive. You're naturally reactive to a situation where you may respond with anger or say something quickly. And instead, I want to challenge you to flex your leadership muscles and become reflective. And it's amazing how quickly you can do this. No different than as a SEAL when I was, going through a house and clearing, and I would see a target that had, at one point maybe a cell phone, or another point a notebook, and then at another point it was a gun. So I was able to very quickly, in nanoseconds of time, decide, is this a threat or is this not a threat? And we need to, a threat that needs to be neutral. A threat that needs to be neutralized by a gunshot, or is it something that needs to be, neutralized, or not neutralized, but us to take care of that problem in other ways? So in leadership, when you're dealing with your kids, when you're dealing with your employees, when you're dealing with your team members, this is the challenge I have to you: to not be reactive, to not give into those natural tendencies and those actually more immature. And I don't mean it like you're an immature person. I mean that you haven't developed those muscles. They're not maturely developed muscles to be more reflective in your thinking. So as we deal with problems, as something escalates, if you're dealing with people and people's emotions are getting high, whether you're in an argument with your spouse or maybe you're in a hotly contested debate in the boardroom, whatever it is, guys, it's condition your brain to be reflective, to take in that information at whatever speed you need to. And here's the thing, guys, don't be afraid to take a pause. And we have a natural tendency in arguments and in crisis situations to, I've got to answer right now. I've got to react to this right now. And that's just not true. It depends on the situation. But even in gunfight, I tell people, if you have cover, if you have something that stops bullets, you have time to kind of look at and assess the situation so that you're making good decisions. And in these situations, it's much better to do that, to take that pause. If you unfortunately are in an argument with your spouse and things are getting heated, before you answer, take that pause, take that deep breath, and reflect on what you've heard. Reflect on that situation before you unleash, before you trigger, before you pull the trigger on those verbal bullets. I tell you what, guys, this will have dividends as a leader. I watch leaders who, man, they're just so reactive, and it's toxic, um, because you can tell, and frequently you will go back after the fact when we've reacted. I mean, we've all done it, man. We have shooter's remorse. Not with physical bullets, but with verbal bullets. Like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, man. Or man, I could have handled that so much better. Or oh, I wish I had said this. So if you can teach yourself to not react immediately in the moment, but instead to pause and reflect on what's happening before we make that decision, before we respond to that conversation, whatever it is, I can absolutely guarantee you will be a better leader for it. All right, guys. So that is Monday Muster. It is about being not reactive, but reflective. So reactive versus reflective as a leader. I guarantee if you can apply that into your life, you will be a better leader. So if this is the first time you've watched Jason Redman's Monday Muster, please follow me on YouTube. Check me out and click on that little subscribe button, or you can catch me on all the different socials depending on what you're watching this on. LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and I post Monday Muster on Twitter. And then I do coaching and speaking across the country on leadership and how we deal with adversity. And I am getting ready to launch my brand new program, Point Man for Life Mastermind, will be going live, or at least signups will happen here in a couple of weeks. And that program will be going live after the new year. So if you're looking for like-minded, positive individuals, if you're looking to say, man, I feel like I'm a ship adrift. I want to define my mission in this life. I want to understand higher level goal setting. I want this. Then yeah, keep following me on my socials, and we're going to be putting out the Point Man for Life Mastermind signups are coming out in a couple of weeks. So, all right, guys. Oh, and we also have our awesome Overcome merchandise, and our new No Bad Days line is coming out for Black Friday. So all this stuff is coming. So yeah, just follow me on the socials, click on that YouTube link, and I just want to say thank you to everybody out there who follows. Being a leader is a journey, guys. It is a journey that never ends. It takes hard work. It takes constant work in these muscles, and that's what will make you a good leader. So you will be not reactive, but reflective. All right, that's Monday Muster. Get out there, crush this week, stay off that X, be a victor, never a victim, lead always, overcome, and I'm out.